My name is Reese, and we're going to be doing serial killers in Starbucks with the pink drink. Okay, so first we're going to be talking about Richard Ramirez, widely known as the Night Stalker. And he invaded homes, murdering and sexually assaulting the residents from June 1984 to August 1985. He used a wide variety of weapons and techniques and would often leave behind satanic symbols. Okay, Richard's early family life was not very good. He was a product of a violent family from El Paso. He sustained multiple head injuries when he was young, which probably didn't help with the things he would experience, and that caused him to have epileptic fits. So, first of all, his uncle was a peeping Tom and would take Ramirez along with him during his after dark acts. And the biggest influence was his cousin Miguel Ramirez. He showed him pictures and told him stories about women he tortured and mutilated while he served in Vietnam. And he also killed his wife in front of Richard when he was only 13 after they got in an altercation. And he also put satanic beliefs and those ideas into his head. So Richard Ramirez dropped out of 9th grade and was arrested with marijuana and drug charges, and after that he moved to California and he progressed to cocaine addiction and burglary and was charged with auto theft. Moving on to Richard Ramirez's serial killer life and timeline. He operated in the California suburbs from 1984 to 85, which was a prime time for serial killers. Something weird about him is he had no discernible pattern. He had a variety of victims ranging from young to old, men to women, and multiple races. Along with his crimes and weapons, he molested children, he raped people, murdered them, and burglarized their homes. Starting off with Jenny Vinca, brutally murdered in her apartment, and one of the evidence pieces he left was his fingerprint on her window screen. A little bit of time passed after that, and then his serial murders began in the span of a year, and each time period in between they progressively got closer to each other. It began when he attacked two roommates, Maria Hernandez and Dale Okazaki. He entered their home and killed Dale, and he tried to shoot Maria when she got home, but she reacted and her keys deflected the bullet that he tried to shoot her with, and she ran away and then later confronted him and scared him off because he was intimidated by her. His next victims were the Zazaras, and first he shot the husband, and then he beat, shot, and stabbed the wife and gouged her eyes out after searching their room for valuables. And this is where the first main pieces of reoccurring evidence will show up. It's the footprint that was left in the flower bed and the 22 bullet shells. His next crime was driving a stolen car and breaking into Mabel and Florence Lang's home. He attacks them with a hammer and binds them together, and he raped Florence and drew pentagrams on her and the bedroom walls. And this kind of is also another recurring theme. He was a satanic kind of guy and would show that throughout his crimes. One of his surviving victims was Whitney Bennett, and she was 16, and he beat her with a tire iron when she was asleep. He then tries to strangle her with the telephone cord, but the cord sparks and she begins to breathe again, and Ramirez got scared and fled, believing that Jesus had saved her. And that was going to be one of the beneficial eyewitness accounts because she saw him. Okay, his next victim was Joyce Nelson, and he burglarized her home and beat her to death, leaving a shoe print on her face that was the same shoe print found at one of the previous crime scenes that helped the detectives link the crimes together. Sophie Dickman, he handcuffed her and tries to rape her and burglarized her home, and one of his satanic parts, which helped also link the crimes together, where he told her to swear on Satan that he had stole everything of value in her home. At this point, Ramirez had left the LA area and went to San Francisco Bay for a short period of time, and he shot Peter and Barbara Pan. He shot Peter in the head and then beat and raped Barbara, and he then some evidence that helped tie the cases from the separate areas together was he used lipstick to draw a pentagram and write Jack the Knife on a bedroom wall. Other investigations that were going along with the serial killer murderers were a series of child abductions, and they are linked to Ramirez because of the shoe print and eyewitnesses from the assaulted children. Evidence that helped the detectives find Richard Ramirez was potential victims heard a man outside their home and kind of assumed it was, Richard Ramirez, and they caught a glimpse of the car and the license plate that of the car that he was fleeing in. Multiple eyewitnesses and victims gave an official description of the Night Stalker, and it was released to the public to help find him. And there was also a fingerprint from him matching the first scene on the stolen car. During this time, Richard had taken a trip to go visit his brother, and when he returned to Los Angeles, he saw his face in the papers and his crimes, and that he was basically a suspect and a target. And trying to flee the area, he attempts to carjack a woman's vehicle, but a group of bystanders pursue him, and one manages to hit him in the head, and they pin him down until police arrive. Some of the main evidence used throughout the case and in the trial was the shoe print, which was identified as a Manzavia shoe print, and there was only one in the Los Angeles area, and it was at multiple crime scenes, linking them all together. And the identified fingerprint on the stolen car and one of the first crime scenes. And all the eyewitnesses that had survived could identify Richard in the lineup, and just his appearance, because he was very unhygienic. Ramirez was convicted in 1988 on 13 accounts of murder, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries, and he was sentenced to life in prison with a death penalty. He died at age 53 of cancer in June 2013. That is the end of Starbucks and Serial Killers, The Night Stalker.